Hello, everyone. I am joined by this amazing cast. This is our core D&D panel of Legends at PAX Online. For those that don't know, Core is a new online gaming destination that has hundreds of free PC games. But what's crazy about Core is that everything on it is actually built by gamers.
What?
Yeah, I know. What? I know.
No, there's no way.
Who had done such a terrible idea? No, it's fantastic. It's really exciting. It's game playing and game creation all in one platform, and it's completely free. I don't know how you're all making money, but it sounds like a great idea. I appreciate your altruism. Over the last month, Core has been running a massive contest that has challenged participants to build Dungeons & Dragons inspired games. Later on in this panel, we'll reveal and play through some of those games, so please stay tuned. It's pretty exciting. This brings us back to our panel of legends, which you see before you.
Legend?
For PAX, we thought it would be fun. Yeah, we thought it'd be fun to use Core to bring to life some of all of your favorite D&D adventures from all of your favorite D&D adventurers. So let's go down the list. We're going to introduce some people. First off, we've got writer, gamer, musician, conventioneer, tabletop enthusiast. He's also from my hometown. He's the co-founder of Penny Arcade, and he's a dungeon master for Acquisitions Incorporated, the C Team. It's Jerry Holkins. Yay, Jerry Holkins!
When you put them all together, it sounds very impressive.
It does.
I was surprised. I had forgotten that I had done some of those things, so I appreciate the reminder.
You're welcome. We've got veteran voice actor, writer, voice director on countless cartoons, video games, and anime series. You probably know him from his roles as Not the Brave and also Scanlan Shorthalts from the series that you may have also heard of, Critical Role. We've got Sam Riegel.
Wow. Yes. It's great to virtually be here. Thank you for tapping your teacups.
That's the traditional celebration.
Proper respect.
No. Everyone on Zoom's doing it, or vMix, or she's an actress from hit shows like Daredevil, True Blood, and the legendary dungeon master behind Relics and Rarities and Lost Odyssey, the Book of Knowledge.
Come on.
And also one of the nicest human beings I've ever met, Deborah and Woll.
Hey, thanks. Yay. I'll take that last one.
Yeah.
On top of this, we've got professional wrestler and lifelong video game aficionado. We've seen him on WWE's SmackDown, exploring the worlds of gaming and all things nerddom on UpUpDownDown, and slaying monsters on the show Rollout. It's WWE superstar, also Jerry Holkins. No, I mean Xavier Woods. It's Xavier Woods, if I can guess.
Hello, aka Austin Creed. Check out UpUpDownDown, the greatest YouTube channel of all time, and Twitch and Instagram and Twitter at PhD. Check me out, baby.
Oh my
God. Wow, he knows how to do it.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good. I need a lesson.
Trained.
Good.
I forgot to flex during my intro. I blew it.
I have retained my gains as well. I want to make sure that everybody understands gains completely retained over Corona World. I'm doing great.
Yeah,
a lot of meat.
You look tight.
A lot of beef.
So tight. So much. My God.
We've got world-renowned vocal artist, beatboxer, musician, comedian. He's been seen on The Late Show with James Cordon and other series shows, international live performances. I got the privilege to see him in concert. It was a transformative experience. You all should do it. It's amazing. It's Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks a lot for having us. Thank you. We appreciate all of it.
We're going to begin with Reggie Watts and the never-ending beginning. What is this, Reggie?
Never-ending beginning.
That's so great.
Okay. Here's the story. Back in ancient times, in an alternate universe, surrounded by the stars of millions of those who worshipped magic, lied and lain, crew of people who ventured into a place, an inn of unimaginable consequence. And then they went inside, and so so this is a story. I'm going to go in and out between like fourth person and third person.
Sure.
So basically, there's like this crew of cats. They're not cats, but they're adventurers of different kinds. Maybe like one person is a half elf ranger by the name of Bronwyn. Another person might be just a general fighter who's just like a hired gun, if you will, or hired blade, if you will, as well, or hired arrow tip, and a few others. And they're inside of this inn. They make it inside this inn, and there's an innkeeper. And this, in keeping with the innkeeper storyline, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Hey, we're looking for an adventure, and we heard that you might have some information about where we should go." And the innkeeper is very excited because he wants to share this information with them because he just wants to be helpful, and some people just really get off on being very helpful. And so so he wants to tell them about this place that they can go on the outskirts of town. Probably a path that leads to some kind of a mountain. At the base of the mountain, there probably is an opening of some sort, and you would go inside, and so on and so forth. But he gets stopped, and he gets stopped by the adventurers, and the adventurers start asking questions like, how long has this inn been around? And the shopkeeper is like, "Well, it's been around for quite some time. I guess we've my wife and I have owned it for, I don't know, maybe like 70 years or something like that, depending on which species of demarcation time that you're talking about." And they're like, "Oh, that's very interesting." And then the innkeeper is like, "Now, I'll tell you. Once you exit," then he gets stopped again. And one of them is like, "So, do you and your wife get along? Do you get along pretty well?" And the innkeeper's like, "Yes, we get along pretty well. She's great. She actually is the one who built this place. She's the designer, and I'm just simply here to kind of take some of the people as they arrive and adjust them to their environment, and then send them on their way." And this goes on for quite some time.
I was gonna say roll for nosiness.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it's like,
How's things with your wife?
and questions like how tall is your wife? Where did you get these windows from? Is this reclaimed wood? What's up with the wallpaper, and how did you choose it? Where'd you get it from? It's out of style, but it's nice to see it, here.
This is amazing. Does the bartender ever get frustrated by this, or is he just like happy to talk?
It's his hell.
I mean, yeah. Basically, he's because he's endlessly cordial, and doesn't want to offend anybody, so he plays along. But his energy is being drained, and I don't know if anyone is an actual energy vampire per se, but they're just overly curious, and he's just stuck there trying to.
Well, you've got like energy vampires, and then you have like earnest documentary filmmakers, and I think it's roughly the same tier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extraction.
It's essentially like people who just see the smallest things as just endless fractals. Like there is no end to their curiosity.
It's the coastline.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this just goes on and on. I mean, that's just it. That's the whole adventure.
So now they're talking.
They never leave. They never leave and do anything.
They never leave.
Yes.
No,
And you can go around the place and just examine weird props and stuff. This is
What's
so cool.
with this room?
Yeah. You can just
There's a bucket for the
mop. Bucket's filled with murky, soapy water. Does not smell good.
I feel like this is what purgatory is.
The Dungeon Master's Kitty has the angry eyes now.
Yeah. Occasionally. Yeah. See? Yeah, but there's so much to check out there. There's jugs and corks and crates.
Wow.
Oh, what is that fish?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Fish.
Oh, there we go.
Dude, look at this.
See?
You could have
So
your
they can
birthday
sit
party.
down. Yeah, you can have a birthday party. You can have
birthday
a.
party? Do they sing to you?
Yes, the cheese does.
Cheese sing.
Is this
Magic
some
mouth
sort of
cheese.
Yes.
Is it a theme restaurant or anything like that? Is it like
Yeah.
a stinking
Yeah, Chuck E.
Rose
Cheese.
or-
It's a D&D starting point themed restaurant.
That actually sounds like an incredible real life idea.
I know.
I will go in with you on that.
Oh,
That sounds
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, count me
let's
in
do
too.
it.
Are the
You get your
placemats
first
just
inequality.
your character sheet that
Yeah.
you have to fill out while you wait for your order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're,
Nice.
but they're just generic. They're just like kind of like just as an ode to the idea of D&D. It's just it's not your actual character. It's just like a character. Just any character.
Well, and they scrupulously avoid anything that would require the expensive license. Right.
Oh yeah. Constantly.
It's laminated
Yeah.
so they can just wipe it down for the next people that come in.
Yep.
Absolutely. Of course.
Lowercase
Yeah, and
d, lowercase n, lowercase d.
Yep. Yes, exactly. It's dend.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
So yeah.
It turned into
So this is interesting. As they investigate stuff, it like upgrades. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it becomes more detailed.
Oh,
That makes
Okay.
that makes sense.
that
'Cause
does
you
make
got
sense.
to roll an investigation check on everything,
cool.
basically.
Yeah, it's just a
That's
barrel,
dope.
but when you look at it, that's really cool.
I do have a question though. So you said that you had a hired gun, a hired blade, a hired arrow tip, if you will,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. Yes.
So the hired person, are they in on just hanging out in the tavern as well, asking questions?
They're on
Yeah,
the
I mean-
clock, right?
Well, they are on the clock, but it really doesn't matter. They're just taking their lead, So as far as they're concerned, they don't have to like do anything dangerous. They're just hanging out. This is easy money.
Oh, cool. Stair.
Oh, Derek!
Oh wow, you
Look
built
at
in an
that.
upstairs. Hey,
A second
God
floor.
bless you. God bless
Open
you.
flame on the second floor. Yes.
Doesn't that look like a
Yeah.
secret hat? Up there? Oh, it is.
Oh, a third
Oh,
floor.
there's gonna be a
Whoa!
doll.
Oh no way.
Whoa!
And a
Whoa,
fourth
whoa,
floor.
whoa. More stairs. More stairs.
Whoa. I love this.
I actually
Nice.
love this. That the fact that as you explore, you see more of the area and what's actually around. Because I feel like
Yeah.
even just for people that aren't used to playing D&D, like they play something like this and they go, "Oh, we get this in video game
Mhm.
language," but now I kind of understand it more in D&D because of course we wouldn't know what it looks like because we haven't examined it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. What a great, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
As a weird
Crafty.
science nerd, that's a thing that happens too, where we have, unless we like focus on something, we only retain like a blurry image of it anyways. So like that's
Mm,
actually
yeah.
a real thing your brain does, that you have to specifically focus to remember something.
Yeah, it's like a
completely.
flashlight in the dark.
Ooh, what's she
What's
doing?
going on with this monk?
What is that?
Oh,
No, that's
What?
she's free on
that's
that.
actually that's the Groovin Monk. The
This
Groovin
monk is making
like-
TikToks. You can tell with the camera.
Oh,
She ran away.
Wait, something's happening.
she was embarrassed. Connor taking selfie.
This is actual adventure.
Oh, now you can go out.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You
it's
can
free.
go out.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can go out to the square.
She's so
Yeah.
fast. She's so fast.
Well,
She is.
that's
Oh my
the
God,
thing
catch
about the game. If you find the right mechanism, it will lead you out into a square or the outskirts of town, but you still won't make it to an actual adventure. But it does expand.
Does that person get away, or no? They just
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
sit there.
And then
and
there's
watch?
more dancing. There's more
Oh, what
dancing.
the- oh, that's
it.
Those are bad guys.
Because this is thriller.
You walked into Thriller, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, and that's how it ends.
Oh my God, I
That's
love
the end of it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the end.
this.
That's the end.
Leave them
The end
more.
is the beginning.
Twist.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. It's a never beginning cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Man.
Wrap up.
This is like it's like a spectral West Side Story sort of situation. going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
We are the
Yeah.
That's
And
so
then you run back
cool.
to the inn where it's safe.
Yeah, totally.
you should.
it's like,
Those
well,
docks
check
are
out the
messed up.
wallpaper. Yeah, and there's more
That-
like cabinets to explore.
Reggie, was this an idea, or did you ever play? Did you ever do a one shot of this, or was this just in your head? This game.
This was when I was playing D&D, when I was streaming Twitch D&D with what we called the D team. We called ourselves the D team, and
Nice.
because we could just never make it out. Like we were playing and we got into the inn and everybody was constantly like asking about like all the shit I was talking about, like the floors, what are they made of, and like how much square footage do you have? Like we never got to the adventure.
I
So what did
so bad.
What did the DM do while you guys were doing this?
I mean, he kind of knew.
Dying.
I mean, it was our second. I think it was our second game. Yeah, he just was like he kept trying to get us to leave, and we just couldn't. I think we did eventually make it out a little bit, but we never got to anything important.
It's amazing.
Just imagine writing this whole crazy story with all these settings and all these monsters and traps, and they never leave the inn. I'd be so mad. All this hard work.
That's amazing. I can't wait to troll one of my players with that adventure.
That's
I'm taking
killer.
notes. Yeah. Our next adventure is Deborah and Woll's Rise of the Fluttering Foghorn Wisp.
Okay. Ooh, all right. So this is based on Lost Odyssey Book of Knowledge, which you can go find and watch, because I had one of my favorite moments. So the idea of the Book of Knowledge is that this cast of characters actually gets magically sucked into a book of fairy tales. And the only way out is to kind of jump from one fairy tale to the next and get out before you die or get stuck within this book. And you eventually have to make it to the Tail Weaver's lair. She's the one who's trapped you in the book, and defeat her in order to ultimately come back to the real world.
Ooh.
So this is one of the first adventures that they jump into the book. It is a rhyming couplet, sort of silly story in the vein of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. And the idea is that all of these farm animals are the crew on this ship. There's a pride of lions as the captain and the other mates. So your job in this story is to basically take control of the ship, because if you're not in control of the ship, as soon as it hits the edge of the story, you take force damage and the whole thing starts over again.
Oh, nice.
You have to distract and get past all of these farm animals and get to the steerage and then steer it through this particular portal in order to escape. So I was pleasantly surprised that my farm animals did a wonderful job of just destroying this party. At one point, Rosie, the bee stinger, Kate's fantastic character, Kate Welch's, she had a fox biting her leg, a pig biting the other one, a cow ramming her from the front, and 2 crows sitting in her hair, just pecking away at her head. One of my favorite moments in the whole story was Satine Phoenix as Vlanya. After they'd taken this, they took 10 force damage when the story reset and all this stuff. And she was like, I don't understand. Are we trying to help the story or hurt the story? And TJ goes, the story is hurting us. It's just a best moment. So the best part for us was Matthew Lillard thought that if he could restart the story if he jumped in the water. So at one point he jumped in the water, forgetting that the walrus, who is the first mate of the ship, comes out of the water. So he was locked in a deadly battle, just him and this giant walrus.
Oh no, run!
Run!
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god!
And he's got a hat.
That's terrifying.
That is a fast walrus.
It is.
It's a horror book,
Hipster
yes?
walrus.
The animals are all ill-tempered.
And they're really jacked.
Yeah, they're kind of zombified. They're a little bit.
Okay.
They are really jacked. Look at that.
Strong.
And so
USDA choice.
Yeah.
they pretty straightforwardly just try to sail this ship. If you don't touch them or interfere with them, they just do that and they don't bother you. But as soon as you get in the way, their eyes turn red and they start to attack. So they will try to stop you.
I'm getting like Animal Farm Noah's Ark vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very much like they're taking over. So yeah, you can't fully kill them.
So you can't kill the animals. So the ASPCA will still approve this game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. If you
Okay, cool.
reduce their hit points to 0, they turn into dust, but then reappear again, and and they come back into it because they're just figments. They're just telling the story over and over again. However, you are real, so you're stuck in this story as a real person.
Wow, that's
Oh no! What happens if he catches him?
Just like blue. Can we? There's a
If the walrus
butterfly
catches,
wing.
oh,
my.
wow.
That's dope.
Oh,
Like that is
Yeah.
so great.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So it's based. There's a beautiful Dali painting that has a ship with butterfly wings that I took inspiration from.
Whoa.
Oh, there it goes. They're leaving Mulgrave
Oh my
behind.
God.
it's
the vines.
This is
That's
very-
so great.
This is awesome.
this is very Studio Ghibli sort of. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
like a
Yeah.
Oh
like
my
a better
God.
Vanilla Sky.
Maxfield Parish clouds. Nice.
Yeah.
Mine isn't like
Oh,
this.
there you
I just
go.
want to make sure everybody knows.
Mine is so violent. Mine is so
nothing
violent.
compared to this.
I think it would be great if everybody's was exactly like this. Like just some.
Yeah.
Oh man, she
Even
stole my
the
butterfly
same one.
wing.
My butterfly idea.
They're flying into the abyss. Oh.
But I think the fun of
Yeah,
it
this
is that it ended up actually being quite violent. I thought it would be
Oh,
such
really?
a silly little thing, and like we'd save the master battle for my big boss. But they had such a hard time dealing with all of these farm animals.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was pleasantly surprised how much damage like my cow and my horse did. You know, it
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Bringing it back.
Unexpected.
I'm genuinely surprised because I just assumed like, okay, the ship's gonna be there and that's like the end of the story. But no, the ship actually animated and like flew
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And it's
So
like,
amazing.
goodbye.
No, come back. Wait, I forgot.
Oh.
I'll
Oh,
never
into
know.
the west.
This is just like
Frodo.
that Travis Scott thing in Fortnite, honestly. Like there's a lot of parallels, I think.
Look at that. Look at this guy.
Yes.
He was like,
I don't
what
know.
happened? Oh
Oh,
man.
I got
know.
time.
Look at those
Oh,
emotes.
no.
We're too late. We're late.
You missed it.
Oh, well, come on.
Well, if you wouldn't quit
Yeah.
changing clothes 3 or 4 times,
No.
you would have made it.
No, they're
Oh,
2000 and
so
late.
you'll have to do it again.
Coming up, we've got Sam Riegel's Mission Imporkable.
Yay.
Yeah, a very gritty
More farm animals.
cinematic adventure. There are
Sorry,
more
could you say
farm
the
animals in this.
What was the title?
Mission Imporkable.
It's Sam Riegel's Mission Imporkable.
I'm just in my brain. I'm seeing pigs lowering from ceilings with the music going.
That would have been better.
Pretty much it.
This is a game that I played with my family, my wife and my 2 kids. So it was family friendly. And it was my wife's first time. Actually, my kids had played before my wife. It was my wife's first time ever playing D&D. So I was helping her most of the time, and the kids were actually helping her. But anyway, I made this town where they all lived, and there was like a yearly harvest festival, which
Totally.
involves a pig parade. And this town has a famous beloved pig named Philip that they sort of parade through the town, and it's the symbol of pride of the town, and wouldn't you know it? The pig gets pilfered. Someone steals the pig at some point.
No.
And my wife and kids had to go and find Philip, or else the pride and cultural heart of this town would be missing, and they wouldn't know what to do for their harvest season. So I think what we're seeing now is the parade, the farm animal parade, which is amazing. They went all out.
Oh, so pretty.
This is exquisite.
I love it.
Wow, there's floats with
But Phillips is
man.
empty. Phillips is empty.
Cutscenes.
wow.
Cutscenes.
What is happening now? Dramatic camera. No, this is the parade.
Pig parade. Pig parade. Pig parade.
Wow. Town Square is amazing, guys.
Man, you really inspired them, apparently.
I did. When I played the game, just to make it more relatable to my kids, I put it in the Frozen universe for some reason. So this is a town near where the events of Frozen take place, and they had just recovered from this weird winter that knocked out half of their crops that they had no idea why it was caused. And so they were just getting back up on their feet and stuff. But wow, this parade is so good.
Yeah, it
Man.
is.
Oh, I think that's the mayor. That's the mayor. He's crying because he's lost his pig.
Well, yeah, but
Oh,
look at
yeah.
that big empty Philip. You know, this is where a Philip would optimally be,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
it is. Oh, we have to find Philip. We showed up in the next fairy tale.
Oh, you can talk to the mayor. Oh no, my big
Yeah.
Philip is missing. Oh, okay, we did it. The only pig to survive the
Oh,
Great Freeze. The
man.
Great Freeze. That was the frozen thing. Wow, they did it.
I love this so
Oh,
much.
man.
Because I felt like the towns around where Frozen happened would be just totally baffled as to why many of why did my grandma freeze to death suddenly? She was
It's worth considering, right?
totally, because it was the middle of summer. People were probably wearing shorts and stuff, and then all of a sudden they freeze to
Oh,
death.
Wow.
Awful.
Did the mayor say something about the pig's belly button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
But dude, look at this.
Distinguishing mark.
But look
Yeah,
what they got set up
distinguishing
here. Look what they got set up here. Philip eats good, everybody. Philip
Yes.
eats
Wow.
good.
Mhm.
He's
But
the mayor's
fence is
pig.
broken.
Yeah, and I guess you can investigate for clues maybe and find where the tracks
Yeah.
lead. When I played with my kids, the tracks led, wouldn't you know it, to the thing that I had the most minifigures for. It led them to a goblin village.
Yay!
And the goblins had stolen this pig and were about to roast it when the
Look at
kids
the
have
trail.
to come and. Oh look, there's a trail.
Yeah, no, we're gonna see it. This is rich.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a rope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
But look at this pen. Look at this pen these goblins have set up.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
A mega
This
pen.
is like Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to infiltrate the pen, or the goblin wall, I guess.
And look at all that forest clearing they're doing.
Yeah, look at this clear cut. They aren't good stewards
Yeah.
of nature.
They are not.
Guys.
Well, they're
Oh, there you
goblins.
Oh, cool.
Climb
That's
in.
Oh,
There we
in.
go.
Whoa.
Mm,
Okay.
Amazing.
Their
That's
engineer's gonna
stealth
get an earful.
I would sing the song, except we'll get charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
Stealth.
it's
The
not,
audio's,
it's not
the
your
audio's
money.
ISO. They can cut
It's
it out.
parody. It's parody.
Parody. There you go.
It's
Oh, look at this
Parody.
Jack's pig.
oh,
Find,
and then
find
you
the
had to
out-
figure out. That's right. That's right. You guys got all the details because there was a million pigs, and they had to figure out which one was the right pig by rolling all sorts of
Yeah.
animal handling checks because all pigs really they look alike. I mean,
Find the Audi. Just pick them up like babies.
oh man.
All the goblins.
What
Oh,
the
it's-
heck?
It's
Gobble, gobble.
it's hogdemonium in there.
It is.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh, in the fire.
Look at that. Wow.
Did
Oh,
they
man.
find Philip? Oh my god!
Whoa.
Oh my god! This is intense.
Oh, it's a
This
swarm.
is intense,
Whoa.
dudes.
What is
A
happening?
goblin swarm.
Come
That's
on.
crazy.
Mass
Oh, there's so
combat.
much blood.
Yes,
I-
yes.
I-
This is your family adventure. This is
Yeah.
your family-friendly adventure. Goblin genocide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The family-friendly,
Grandma.
pig-oriented John Wick.
Yeah.
And then the pigs
Wow.
cook the goblin.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So
Okay.
much
Well,
murder.
looks like some of the pigs were killed
Alright.
too.
Did you find
We're going
Philip
back.
yet?
Not yet. He's got to pick
Howdy.
up all the
Philip is
things.
Oh! That seems like the hard way to check.
Lola.
Yeah.
It's such a hero walk carrying the
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes, totally.
It really is.
instead of a princess walking.
And he's
Come with
air
me if you want to
moonwalking.
live.
It's like the end of Officer and a Gentleman. It's yeah.
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 Hold on. There's another chapter. You've inspired these people, Sam.
I swear the game that I played with my kids wasn't even this long.
Wow.
This is so great.
This is like the Prydain series. This is
This is
Rich,
so amazing.
rich,
It's so good.
Oh my god.
and well.
It's all of the
awesome.
Doom books. All of the Doom
Yeah.
books all in one.
yeah. Yeah.
Man.
I love that you found the Audi.
Yeah.
No.
They made an Audi
Wow.
pig for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They
sponsored
did.
by
like
it.
Dune.
Custom.
That's
Just
power.
like Dune, I will get
The new
Timothée Chalamet
E-Tron.
to play the pig.
Oh, Chalamet.
And the fact that all the other pigs, nah, y'all stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
whatever, get out of here. Well, they did kill all the captors, so
They're just free and
Yeah, the
wild.
pigs
You own
can-
this pin now.
The
Yeah, they're free
pigs
within
can
the
feast
walls
on
of
their
the fortress.
entrails for.
yeah.
Okay, next year it'll be an evil band of pigs that have created their own
Yes,
society.
Yes,
Yes.
They'll kidnap the mayor.
I like it.
You
like
left
it.
us. How dare you?
The sequel always has that twist. You know, they have their own version of the story.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that series will be called Oink.
The awakening.
Yeah, the Oinkening.
A gritty
Oink. The
redo.
Oinkening. Oink. Oinker's Revenge.
I have a question about the town itself. Do they
Yes.
eat bacon in this town?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a
I
good
think
question.
so, but they wouldn't eat Philip
Not from
since
Philip.
he's special. But
Ah.
yeah, no, they definitely eat pig. And so
Okay,
we're back.
good
And
to know.
what are we going to do? Restore the town to its former glory and go on another parade? That's
Are
what
you
it
gonna
seems
go
like
put him
we're
in
doing.
that little bathtub?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Little float.
Pig parade. Pig parade.
Exquisite.
Parade.
I love how
Just like
heroic the lead guy is too. It really
So great.
it
Pig
matches up
pizzata.
with.
Up and down.
Wow.
Very cool.
Look at that. Look, we found him.
We have your pig, good sir.
Let me check to make sure.
Oh, the handoff. The handoff.
Oh, he's so happy.
Right.
Oh,
How
Wait,
strong
nimble.
is everyone?
dude, the mayor has some upper body strength, right?
Now that
Oh,
you've restored Philip, we can
Oh,
have a
no.
proper pig parade.
let's see. Is he in his? Is he in the pig thing?
Another cutscene. Another 4K cutscene.
Amazing.
Yeah. You guys, I feel really special. You guys
HDR.
are right on this.
4K, 190 hertz.
It's exquisite.
Oh, there
Yes,
it is.
Oh.
Oh,
Just
Running the new
rightful place.
3090.
Oh, look
Philip
at
is
him.
Oh,
ready.
Amazing. Wow. That's great. Oh, pumpkins.
Yeah,
That's some pig.
exquisite.
Oh,
Oh man, these
oh
guys
there's
are.
a pig mask.
Oh God, who are those freaky dudes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like the
A little
purge.
too into it. Whoa.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Uh-huh.
they just came out of quite a rave.
Oh, I
my
love
God.
that. Oh, I love the pig keg. That's too
It's really
good.
cool. It's
and
really
the,
cool.
and the
The-
piñata, I guess, that you can hit.
Piñata.
Pig, yeah.
Amazing.
Piñata, do. Piñata, do.
Our next adventure is Jerry Holkins, his own The Hot Potato Baby Encounter.
Well, now let's be very clear. It's not actually called the Hot Potato Baby Encounter. It's actually called the Night of 1,000 Hours, and it's very serious. But I mean, I think that we've all run games where we had like a particular big idea, and then like as soon as it gets down into like the ground level execution of it, you come to realize that you've done something very ridiculous, and you know, right? This is what happened. The first story that I gave them, it seems like we didn't go with that one, and that was where my eldest child rolled a natural 20 to seduce a gigantic black widow spider. And so there's a lot of conversations that we had to have about that as a family afterward. But the other game that I had was a one-shot that I've run a few times. I've run it for the C Team, the Acquisitions Incorporated spinoff, but I've also run it for a couple other groups of people. And the basic hook is that obviously you can see outside, very stormy, very rainy night. This is just the reverse of Reggie's, basically. But basically the way that it works is that, you know, you're in here, you're in this inn, you're doing your stuff. I see that you've put together an Omen facsimile. I appreciate it. But basically what happens is you're doing your inn thing, and then you basically end up becoming the background, because we all want to mess with the inn as a concept, right?
Sure.
So what happens here is that you end up in the middle of someone else's adventure, and their adventure basically gets handed off to you. They are protecting this baby, who eventually we realize is a changeling, and there are other changeling creatures and lycanthropes after her because they think that they can utilize her as some kind of a cure. And she is enchanted. Her swaddling is enchanted so that anytime someone tries to kill the baby, the person holding it takes the damage instead. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be kind of an interesting tactical thing. And then what actually happens, literally 100% of the time you run this game, is that people throw a baby around in the middle of a battle, that was not the goal. The goal is very dramatic. It's very serious. But what happens in practice is that people juggle a baby.
Sure.
Which is not safe for babies. And so,
no, it's terrible.
So she is bringing in the baby, but of course she has already she has already been subject to assassination on the way in. So now she has taken all the wounds that these malefactors were trying to commit to this child. Now you have the child, and the rest of the people that are after this baby are now after you as a result. I love that you've sort of, here they are right here.
Oh,
dang.
jeez.
It's on. Give us that baby.
Mistaken, red means bad.
Uh-oh.
You have the
Well, like
chosen.
the baby is sort of magnetized to your gauntlet, which is very
exactly.
helpful.
The baby,
to have
Yes.
it's like a baby.
Very-
It's like a
very
baby.
helpful.
race.
Oh, so
We
this is
saw
like baby football.
Football throw.
I see.
Yeah, it's like a lateral.
Or like a ultimate baby.
Did they bounce the baby?
Did the bounce? Did
Bounce
that
the
bounce?
Yeah, bounce
It's
pass.
auto-
Whoa!
Oh god!
that's
Oh god!
great.
Oh god!
banking the baby. You're skipping the baby like a stone.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Wow. It's like Captain America's shield.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so cool.
So if you're holding the
Second half.
baby, if you're holding the
Yes.
baby and people fight your friends, you take the damage. You said.
Yeah, basically what happens is that if you have this baby, they're trying to attack this baby, you absorb all the damage that they are trying to inflict. So protecting this baby is very dangerous for you personally.
I see. I see.
Whoa, cool.
So what happens
I
if
was
no
gonna
one's
say,
holding the baby?
It's never once happened.
Oh, my question
Yeah.
was, do you have a plan for if the baby is unattended and takes damage? I know you said that has never happened, but do you have
Yeah.
a plan for if it does?
Yeah. Like I said, in the moment, I have never had to do it.
Right.
I have never been at a table where at least one person out of the group of 4 took the baby, and then once the mechanism becomes clear that whoever has the baby takes a lot of damage, then baby distribution increases at that point.
Baby
I see.
distribution.
If you have the baby, can you attack, or are you only on defense when you're holding the baby?
You can utilize one-handed. Yeah.
Got it. With the baby, not with your longsword or anything. And then
Yeah.
with the baby, is it like rugby rules? Can you lateral and drop kick, or is it just passing with your
It's-
hand?
It's all at that point. It's all dexterity, athletics checks, and then if you fail, there's a second check where the person you're throwing to can like sacrifice themselves to get it.
Oh, wow.
So, like I
dig it.
said,
I feel like
I've never seen it.
I feel like I would either tie the baby to the horse so the horse takes the damage, or beat up one of the bad guys, keep him on a chain, and have the baby tied to him. So when we do get into fights, that bad guy gets messed up.
So essentially, someone is riding through town at night. They see all this. They're like, hop in. Oh, you have Cthulhu's Draub. You got Walnut Dawn Grass. You got Rosie. What a delight! And then what you find out is that these woods are not safe either. There is basically head height silver threads tied between
see that.
trees.
And what do those do?
Well, they decapitate people.
Oh,
And-
Oh,
okay.
they're decapped. This is where being a gnome really pays off.
It don't hurt. It don't hurt.
Oh my god. Here it comes.
no.
The
Oh,
decapitation.
oh.
Ooh, there goes my head right out of my skin. Oh, yeah.
Oh god, that was so...
Does the baby when you run this game, Jerry? Does the
better
baby
check.
cry and blow stealth checks and stuff like that? Is it a loud baby?
Every time.
part of the reason that this works is because it's sort of designed to be a movie. It's a one-shot. And so all the dynamics and everything happens so fast, it's all gut reactions from the beginning to the end, basically. It isn't meant to be really part of a larger campaign, although for the C team, I did put them in. But yeah, ultimately, eventually, they're able to get here to the Wayrest Chapel. Oh, thanks, baby. But they're able to get
the baby climbed up the hill by itself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I got this.
This baby is an advanced baby. It's not one of these lesser babies we've heard about. The story ends years later. This baby has grown up with this the priest of this place as her father, but she still remembers. She remembers what all the members of the party look like, and is always taking on their shapes. So it's a very serious, very touching, very sweet thing. But it's ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about throwing a baby as far as you can. Hopefully, or kicking the baby through the uprights.
I love it. It's also like, if I had like these game mechanics, all I want to do is play dodgeball with the baby. Like it's just so fun to bounce.
Still bouncing. Wow.
Yeah. Dodge, baby.
There he is. You got him.
No,
That's cool because so from you making this game, obviously, like you said, this was not the objective of the campaign, but now seeing it in like a real life situation, it's like you're finding more ways to mess with this baby.
No. I mean, that's what I realized as soon as I was telling this story to them. I'm like, no, actually, I think this should be a genre. We got to make sure the baby throw thing gets set up so they can take advantage of it.
It's a third-person shooter for baby.
Yeah, I want to see it explode on board.
Our last adventure is Xavier Woods and the Even Flow experience. What is this about?
Even
flow. Exactly.
Crazy.
So I feel like I have to explain the title first. So as I am a professional wrestler, aka a LARPer, if you don't get it, the Even Flow is a move used by a guy named Raven. It was a DDT, and so one of our characters in this, her name is Raven, and we started singing Even Flow, and it ends up that we use a DDT at the end of this. But where we're going into right now, in order to get to the last boss of the campaign, we have to go through 4 different elemental portals, essentially, and fulfill certain puzzles in order to get the other portal to open back up, and for the one that we were in to close. Once we did all 4 of them, then the 5th and final portal opened and we fought the boss. So what we're looking at here is this is incredible. I wasn't expecting to be all this.
Beautiful.
This is the water elemental portal that we went into, and so obviously tons of water. As you finish certain puzzles, the water moves around, and you got water monsters in here and stuff. This is, my God, this is insane.
Look at that.
And there's the huge water giant monster that we had to fight. And all of our characters are very different. So I played a character named, he was a gnome named David. AKA David the Gnome, and yes,
good nickname.
And so, and so, like any other game of D&D, it's just us arguing on what's supposed to happen because none of us really had specific things to deal with, any specific elements. So it wasn't like, oh, we'll lay on this one character for this or this character for that. We really had to work together, which isn't the easiest thing to do for us because we just yell and scream all the time. And so once you went through the water elemental portal, we went to Earth. Very Captain Planet of us.
Yeah.
So
we went. Austin, is there a heart elemental?
The heart is within you at all times, so you always have that.
It's the friends you made along the way.
Exactly. It's not the actions that are important, but the friendships you make. You know? And so as we went into the Earth elemental portal, again, this looks absolutely wild. I know everybody had like stories and stuff for theirs, but I'm kind of like very locked into the fact that this exists at all.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's amazing.
Oh my God!
Wow,
this is so sick. So here we go in the Earth elemental portal. Obviously, we fight another big like Earth giant made of rocks, very angry, throwing heavy objects at us. We're all terrified. again, fighting stuff, doing puzzles, like a normal like dungeon crawler type of situation. But there's the Earth Elemental portal. And then we got to fire.
Wow.
This is where we turned up the heat a little bit.
Clearly.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, look at that flex.
Flexing.
Yes. One of the things with this was that as we fulfilled certain parts of puzzles, like more lava would come up and block our path, so we have to go do other things. And what? This is the whole like fire temple? Yes.
Yeah, I see
this
a
looks
heat.
incredible. I can feel the heat looking at it.
Oh, that's so good.
Wow. So yeah, as you can see, all the lava and everything, all the fire.
Yeah.
We're burning up. We're sweltering hot in here.
The
But again,
obsidian
puzzles,
dynasty.
Glassed over.
yes, it's all that,
Oh, it's like
that liquid
obsidian.
magma that's cooled over. You know,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for.
Obsidian.
So obviously, same situation, but gotta come together and figure out how to get through the through the air portal. We're finally up in the clouds. It is insane. You don't want to fall off because you will most likely die, and that's no fun. And you won't make it
Cloud
to the last portal. This is good. God, this is
Oh, man,
amazing.
look at that.
Yes, incredible.
Whoa,
And
that's
they
a
make
big
a spider.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I don't like that
Situation.
guy. I don't like
We
that
had
guy
to
at all.
climb. We had to climb this like side of a castle and all these rocks and get up to the top, and we had to fight this enormous spider on the way, and then get up to this huge tornado. And I'm sorry, I'm like literally just amazed that this
Look at
that this is a thing you guys were able to build. What?
Dude.
This
Dude.
looks
Oh my
insane.
god.
Fly.
I cannot believe this.
This is so
But yeah,
beautiful.
fighting the spider was nothing but a huge mess. And then dealing with this, because like obviously we're dealing with the air and the wind and having to, not everything works as we would want it to, because the huge gusts of wind are messing up our attacks and things like that. And as we're trying to climb and stuff. And so taking that into account in a game just really kind of messed us all up, because we're like, oh, wait, nothing's hitting. They're like, yeah, because there's too much wind everywhere. You have to take that into account.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll swing left to hit right. So once we got through that and beat the spider, we came upon the big boss.
Ooh. Who dis?
Now, the thing about this is one of our players, Raven. So she was a rogue, and she constantly, whenever we fought stuff, and it was her turn, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go in this back corner in the dark and just kind of like hang out and not fight, because I don't want to get beat up, and just leave us to fight stuff.
Wow.
And so, quote unquote, unfortunately, she ended up getting killed in this last fight. And so we had to run over and make sure she didn't actually die. But what ended up happening is we finally, after going through all of these portals together, we finally like dipped into our teamwork aspect of us being a crew. And wow.
That looks so good.
Whoa.
I want a piece of that.
Look at the torture
Yes,
cages.
Oh, wow.
yes, they
look
got
at
the
Whoa.
chains on the wall and stuff.
Very good.
So those chains on the
Little
wall messed us
Hellraiser
up
action?
because
Yeah.
they would attach to us and then we wouldn't be able to move. And so then stuff would just beat us up while we were strapped in. And so it's like, oh, you got some enemies, cool, whatever. And then we go to attack, and then he's like, oh, well, the chain has a turn. And we're like, what do you mean the chain has a turn? It's like, oh, the chain wraps around you and holds you so you can't move and attack next turn. It's like, wait. We're all almost dead. And so we all almost lost it. But this was like one of the coolest things that I've ever been a part of in D&D, just because like all of the random aspects, and chains, the bad guys, and coming all together at the end and actually we quit squabbling for 5 minutes to get it done. With the last boss, we have a character who was able to put the boss to sleep. And so rather than just going and attacking him, we said, it's teamwork time, let's mess this guy up. So I figured maybe if I went and grabbed his head without really touching him and waited for an opportunity attack, as soon as he moved, I could do a wrestling maneuver called a DDT, where you drop your body down and drop their head into the ground, but not before one of our other players says, well, I've got a bow and arrow or crossbow or something. And so what he did was he shot the bow and arrow and shoots an arrow to the back of his head, which makes him move. Now the opportunity attack triggers. And so I end up DDTing him. And in that motion of the DDT, as his head is going into the ground, his legs are coming up over his body, and our other character, who's a huge cat woman, Lum, ends up grabbing his legs and picking him up into the air.
Oh,
right?
no.
So it's what's called a power bomb. But right before they're in the power bomb position, Lum had a bunch of axes she threw on the floor with the blades up.
Oh boy,
This is a complicated move.
Caught the power bomb, and then power bombed the big bad into the axes, just absolutely obliterating them. Yes, it took us maybe 5 minutes to put this together.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a bunch of wrestlers. So we had like a whiteboard out running
I was
football
going to
plays
say,
on
did
it.
you have a whiteboard?
Pretty much, and I don't know. That was cool to me. That's the essence of this.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It should be.
I have to ask.
It should be said. Yeah, good.
I have to ask, what is it like to see these adventures of yours come to life this way? It just kind of blows my mind. Does it because you have one picture in your head and then you get to see this.
But so for this, no joke, this
strong.
is exactly how it was in my brain. This is exactly what I saw, more or less. And so the fact that we are sitting at a table using our imaginations to make this world, and our DM is explaining how all of these pillars look and the chains and this, I see it in my head, and it's that would be really cool to see in real life. Y'all actually made it, and people can make this for free. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I think it's neat to see them, but the main thing I think is cool is that people can access it and then use it and drop it in. These are neat situations and sets for people to tell their own stories, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And then especially so if anybody that follows anyone who's got a D&D game, so let's say, the ACK Inc. and they love it and they see it at PAX, then they go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to build that. I'm going to build what I saw and I'm going to play it, and they can put it on here and everybody else can play it too. It's a really cool thing.
It's smooth.
Or you can also just create a story, a movie.
For the past month, Core has been running a D&D adventure building contest. These 5 winning experiences and 140 other D&D experiences are now all live on Core, and you can go and play them for free. The D&D Core contest has 4 different categories based on D&D adventuring locations. So we have dungeons, caves, and caverns, we have the wilderness, we have strongholds and towers, and we have the elemental planes. Now our panel of legends is going to introduce who are the winners.
It is my great pleasure to announce the winner of the Dungeons, Caves, and Caverns category is Treasure of Baland Ur by Cardinal Zebra. Woohoo! Of course, the runner. I know it was hotly contested, but you should know that the runner-up is Fairy's Debt by Punkarella Summers. Honor to all.
Congratulations.
Honor to all.
So say we all.
Honor to all.
Yes.
And the winner of the wilderness category, New Lumeria, Stillwater, by Bryce Loves Gaming.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
And let us not forget, the runner-up is The Forsaken Temple by Elysian. Congrats to you, Elysian.
Yes. Very well done.
I am pleased to announce the winner of the Strongholds and Towers category is none other than Best Little Horror House. I hope I said that clearly enough. By Circle Tunes. And the runner-up in the Strongholds and Towers category is Grand Tournament Melee by The Guys Game Studio. You'll be receiving your prizes too.
Yes, and I have the pleasure of introducing the winner of the Elemental Planes category. And that is Corruption of Aurealis by Kelsaru. Yay!
Woo!
And the runner-up is Pirate King's Domain by Altercation. Yay!
That was a close one.
So close. And the overall winner for the best D&D game created in Core is Forgotten Cisterns by Kepu.
Oh man!
Yay!
No one is going to
won my
forget
pool.
these cisterns anytime soon. You know what I mean?
No,
Nope.
these cisterns are firmly rooted in history.
Congratulations to all the winners. Thanks to all participants. For the panel, any final words and thoughts about Core after having this experience of seeing like your imaginations brought to life?
I did have a question.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
I forgot how much did this cost, because this is incredible. I need this. How much was it?
I suspect free.
What?
What? No, Austin. It's like, how much would you expect to pay? You know,
$29.99.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars for such an event, for such a program, to have so much control and make these worlds free. Psh, wow.
I'm very excited about it personally. I think that it's going to help people who don't understand Dungeons and Dragons understand it a little bit better. So cheers to you for capturing the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons and the imagination of so many thousands of players throughout years.
my hope is that, you know, the content that we partnered on doesn't result in real world crime. Beyond that, I think it was very well executed. But I do have that fear. It does linger.
It's crazy to me, like, so obviously all of us had so many different stories and things that we did throughout these games. And the fact that, like, this one program was able to bring every single one of those very different stories to life.
Cool.
It's really cool to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's our show. Thank you to the panel, our panel of legends. I really appreciate you all coming together to share your stories. And thank you to everyone at PAX and everyone at home. Core is free to play and free to create. Make sure you try all of these amazing D&D games in Core right now, or you can start making your own. You can get started today by visiting coregames.com. This was an amazing experience, and thank you for all being a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.
That's our pleasure.